All right, we're back with another extracted exit interview, and this week I am joined by, sadly, Ryan H., Candace, and Roger. We're really bummed that y'all left this week. I'm sure you are as well. But Ryan, I want to start with you and ask, it was so clear from the beginning of the show that you have such a great relationship and support system with your parents. Did you always know that you wanted them to be your crew?
I did. They kind of were my only option from the beginning. So yeah, they definitely have my back in everything that I do in life, racing, and of course the show now. And I think America can see that, and everybody that's watched this show. We have a great family dynamic, and just granted some of the stuff that's happened in the show, I think they give it their all, and I couldn't have asked for a better a team.
Yeah. So speaking of which, Roger and Candace, we saw early on you struggle a little bit with that initial crate package. How much do you think that that hurt y'all in the rest of the game?
We got off to a bad start. Absolutely. And we owned it, you know. Probably the outcome could have been a lot different had we got started better. But, he was struggling the entire time trying to catch up. So
Well, it was amazing
we
how
owned
long you
it. It
lasted,
was.
even though you were struggling. So we've seen a lot of alliances in the last couple episodes. Besides the deal that you made with Blake and Colin, did you ever have any other deals or alliances, anything like that with anyone else?
No, we really didn't. I guess the proximity of where we were at, NHQ, kind of affected that. We really didn't know at first to build alliances with anybody. We were kind of just being ourselves and doing what we thought was best for Ryan at the time. And later on, we built an alliance with Blake and Colin, and it might have hurt us later on, but that's kind of what we went with at the time.
Yeah, it seems like that. Ryan, on the podcast, we've talked a bit about how rough a spot it was for you to go up against Jake in that swim. Do you think you would have, the outcome would have been different if you had gone up against anyone else that was left at that point?
Well, I mean, I think Jake and Austin, everybody went live after this past episode, and I don't know, who's all watched it, but I can tell you from being there and from their podcast, and I think you can see it in the show, or in the episode, it wasn't really a fair race, to be completely
Hmm.
honest. I did not have my pants off before they blew the horn. Um, and the producers actually admitted that to us. Um, but I mean, Jake is a great swimmer. I'm a good swimmer too, but I think he had, obviously he had about a 30-foot advantage on me from the start. And I mean, you're just not going to make that up in a swim challenge like that. So, I really would have liked to got a fair race with him because I think it would have been really close. I mean, do I
Hmm.
think maybe he would have beat me? Maybe. Um, he had food on his belly. He had caught some fish and stuff. So I was running on nothing but water. So
Yeah.
it was very exhausting. But and actually watching it, I told my parents both. I said, y'all could have put me up against Woody or somebody. Like just. I'm not saying that I 100% would have beat him, but I do think it would have been easier for me. That way we would have kind of locked in some resources because that was very crucial, with the limited amount of supplies that I had already gotten prior to that, and the raft challenge. Me failing the raft challenge. I mean, there were so many times that I needed supplies that I didn't get, and just that far along in the show, I really needed that tarp and the food. And so yeah, I mean, um, it's shocking that I made it that, as far as I did.
Yeah. So how far did you end up lasting? How many days?
um, it was the end of day 14.
Wow. Okay. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the MRE that was in the crate towards the end there. Obviously, not what you had originally wanted, but given that it was food, had you been able to like gather food or catch food anywhere else like we saw some of the other people?
No, we only had the one hunting challenge, and obviously nobody caught anything. I mean, that was very difficult hunting like that. I mean, with making a lot of noise and stuff. Um, yeah, I know a lot of people think that I wasn't appreciative of that, but you know, you got to look at the way that we had no idea that anybody got anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we trekked through a mile of woods to get to that. And, you know, I mean, I didn't know if every one of us got something or if none of us got something. I had no idea. So I just knew that I hadn't ate in 5 days. And when I opened it up, there was food. So I took it and walked off. And I needed a tarp. I needed food. I needed a lot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was just thankful that I got anything, you know.
Now, Candace, you had said on the show that you were going to talk to him about his reaction. Did you do that?
He knows I did.
Yeah.
But I get it. I put myself in his shoes, and I realized right away that he didn't turn around and give a big speech, and but I also said, did I do the right thing? Because I knew how desperately he needed a tarp, and at that time, he never could get dry. He stayed wet, and he had a wonderful shelter. He did a great job, but those leaves would just keep falling in, and he had to just keep building. And them hard rains, it would leak through. So, I wished I could do it again and make different decisions. But hey, we played a good game. We played an honest game.
Yes. So it seemed like, at the end when you were starting to have to make harder and harder decisions in HQ, having to get people to forfeit stuff, that definitely seemed like that was also difficult for the two of you in there. Can you talk a little bit about how it felt being at HQ, having to make those kind of decisions?
Well, I will say for me, Mary, to be honest, I probably should have sent someone else with Dad that had more of didn't have the kind of heart that I do, because I wanted to rationalize why I shouldn't take things from people. Which if I'd have strategized and done that totally different, the outcome may have been different. But just thinking about it, I think to myself, well, I'm not one of those people that think when you're down, you don't kick you and but that's the strategy that they played, not the one I played. So I don't know what Dad thinks, but
Yeah, honestly, we based taking things away from the other survivalists based on what they had the most of that didn't hurt anybody, because that's just the way we were. And unfortunately, we found out later that they were really playing hardcore game, and we were feeling sorry for people. So that hurt us in the end.
So we didn't get to see too much of your actual extraction. What was that reunion like?
Well,
It was very surreal. It was great to see them. I mean, obviously at that point I was ready to go. We made a pact before I went in, and I told them, I said, under no circumstance do you pull me out unless I tell you that I want to be pulled out. And I think they honored that. I mean, even seeing me get hypothermia in the lake, and there was one time that when it done a lot of raining, that I struggled quite a bit mentally, and they never showed that. But there was a couple times that I struggled, and they never pulled me. And when when I opened the box and it said take your sleeping bag, I was defeated right then. It was getting so cold, and the sleeping bag was my saving grace every single night. So I just wasn't about to sit there for the next, however many days, and just shiver and shake all night. It was miserable. So, and I don't think America knows just how cold it really was. So,
Yeah.
So just when they took the sleeping bag, that was it for me. And I mean, they pulled me instantly, and we were, we were all extremely happy to see each other. I mean, it was awesome. I felt like I've been gone for a year.
Well, I know we need to wrap up, but one last question for Roger and Candace. It must have been hard being parents out there. I know you've done the race crew and everything, but um, what was it like watching your son, your child out there struggling? That must have been hard.
It was.
It was hard for her. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go ahead,
baby.
babe. Well, for me, I have to say, Mama couldn't help. And I knew what I had promised. So I relied on my faith. And it worked. It got me through. And I got strong when I needed to be strong. And but the main thing is it done my heart good to see how for Ryan that experience put a lot of things in perspective for him as far as life in general. When we got back together, boy, did he have a list. And that's okay. We're gonna mark that list off. So and I get it. Life's too precious. So
That's great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all talking with me. We had a really fun watching you, and we could tell the whole time that you were not going to be someone who was going to give up easily.
Well, I appreciate that. I went into that with the same mindset that I do in racing. I went in, and I don't like to finish second, so I give it my all.
Yes, definitely. All right. Thank you so much.
Yep,
thank
you.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.